Okay, hello and welcome to the newest version of Bundesliga, our very first for the new 2016-17 season. We're very excited to be back. It's been not a very long summer. It's been a shortish summer, I guess. The Euros and the Olympics have sort of kept us all entertained for a little bit at least. Hope you all enjoyed watching Neymar slot that winning penalty as much as the BBC commentator seemed to. It was very much a moment of redemption, even though nothing can really redeem you from 7-1, but still. So we are going to have a look at the two teams that we haven't done written previews for, which is my favourite team, Schalke, and Axel's favourite team, Eintracht Frankfurt. So just bring Axel in quickly and get him to say hello. Welcome to the new season.
Hello. It's been an amazing season. Perhaps not for me as a Frankfurt supporter, but yeah, that's life.
Yeah. We've all got to live with our flaws, haven't we? And you picked Frankfurt, so that's yours.
I did. I have to. Yeah, well, it's kind of my own fault, so can't blame anyone for it. It's how it is.
Yeah. Well, maybe things will go better this year. Okay, so how we're gonna look at this? I guess I'll do a bit of Schalke. You can do a bit of Frankfurt, and then we'll have a look forward to the game on Saturday. And then we will go through a little bit more of the season. Just before we start, just a quick reminder that we've coined, well, I don't know if we've coined this phrase, I've coined this phrase, as far as I'm aware, that tomorrow is Bundesliga Eve, Thursday is Bundesliga Eve, the night before the season starts. We're going to be pushing that tomorrow. We're going to be getting all of our pieces out. We're going to be getting all of our work for the last month, every preview for all 18 teams, this podcast, obviously. And we're going to try and get everyone involved as much as we can. We want you following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, getting involved with the post, telling us what you think, what you like, what you don't like, where we can improve, what you think we're doing really well. And of course, if you want to get involved with the site, please let us know. We're always looking for people that have interesting ideas, new things to write about. So there's our little plug to start with. Get involved with the hashtag Bundesliga Eve tomorrow. Oh, yes. And we're going to see what we can do with that, see if we can make this work. Axel's got a little poem at the end, which he's going to share with you to celebrate the joys of the most special night of the year.
It is. It's really kind of a better occasion than Christmas, in my opinion. Yeah. As it's, the whole thing starts.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
It costs less money as well. That's the main benefit.
Exactly. Oh, well, for us, trying to go to games, it's... relative, but yeah.
Cool. Right, so shall I start with Schalke and then we can
do that?
Cool. All right. So it's been quite a big off season for Schalke, as far as I can see anyway. With the departure of Leroy Sané being the main sort of departure from the club, the main player moving on. He's obviously departed from Man City. That was a pretty big move. A lot of money involved there. But for that money, we've been able to reinvest it in other players. So Naldo was the first arrival on a free from Wolfsburg, which I think was a really crucial signing. It means we've got some real competition and support at centre-back. After last season when Hervedi's got injured and Nastasic was out for the whole year, and we ended up playing Neustädter at centre-back, and I think everyone could see that he wasn't really cut out for it. I made a couple of comments over the course of the year that he wasn't really cut out for centre-back. And he impressed in central midfield for Russia at the Euros, so maybe that was a sign. But anyway, so we've now got Naldo. Hervedi's is back fit, and Nastasic is back fit, which is quite nice. And Kehrer was looking good in pre-season. He's a young guy, 19-year-old. So hopefully there's some now slightly more cover at centre-back for Schalke. Brought in Raman Barber from Chelsea on loan. Initially, I think potentially the option to bring him in permanently, which is a very good signing. He was a very exciting young talent when he was playing for Augsburg 2 years ago. I think he maybe should have been given more of a chance at Chelsea, but I'm not going to complain if he's coming in to support Kolasinac and maybe develop him further as well, because he's another not yet getting on, still in the sort of mid-20s, so he's got plenty of years ahead of him. So if we don't get Raman Barber permanently, then potentially he can help Kolasinac grow. Who else has been brought in? The unfortunate Koke, who was a fantastic signing, settled in really quickly, was welcomed with open arms by the fans and was already a fan favourite, and then had a horrendous injury in pre-season.
Oh,
So we're unfortunate with that one. So we'll be lacking him until I think at least after Christmas, potentially longer than that, maybe January, February time. We'll be lacking that new signing, and then of course the record signing, Briel Mbolo, arrived from FC Basel off the Basel production line, following Shaqiri and Xhaka and Jan Sommer of Gladbach and all that sort of thing. So another one that's hopefully been educated well in football and he looked all right at the Euros. I can't say I was overly impressed, but he didn't look awful, which is a good start. So someone to partner or to play alongside Huntelaar or near Huntelaar or in some way around Huntelaar. Huntelaar also looks good. He's had a very good pre-season. He looks up for the new season. Possibly that has something to do with the arrival of Marcus Weinzel to replace Andre Breitenreiter as coach. So we'll see how that goes. There's obviously been a few sort of teething problems getting people fit and sorted and ready, and a new style, new manager, and a new director of football as well. So it's been all changed at Schalke, as it usually is over the summer, but probably even more so this year, with all the exciting events going on there. And of course, Max Meyer and Leon Goretzka were part of that silver winning team at the Olympics. Max Meyer was the captain in the final, and Goretzka was the captain from the start until he got injured. So that's very positive news that two of our young guys are impressing at international level, potentially pushing for a full German appearance, and both of them were captain at one point or other, which is great for the future of the team. Hervedes is still the captain at the moment of the actual team, but we'll see how that goes, because obviously he's starting to move towards the end of his career, but I imagine he'll be around for a while. So I'd say it's looking good. I'd say it's not looked this good for Schalke for a while, in terms of the quality in the squad, the young players actually getting time. There's an expectation around the club as always, but there's sort of an excitement as well this year. There's not the kind of, we want them to get fourth, but we don't think they're going to this season. There's actually the general sort of, actually we've got a very good squad now, and we've got a manager that believes in us, and we've got a director of football who can really go to the next level. And we've seen at Mainz what Heidel can do. If he can do the same sort of thing at Schalke, bring players through, sort of slightly less well-known players, maybe along the lines of Mbolo, then the future's looking good for Schalke for the first time in maybe quite a while, for fans. So I'm quietly confident. We'll see how that goes. Might end up being misplaced, but I think this season could be another one where they push all the way for the Champions League. And this season, I think they'll actually make it. I can see them pipping Gladbach this time. So I think that's me done with Schalke. Should we move on to your first real segment of the new season, and we'll have a listen to what you think about Frankfurt?
Yeah, just would like to add that I think Weinzel is the perfect manager for Schalke, and I think Heidel is the perfect, he's the perfect coach, and Heidel is the perfect manager for Schalke. They will most probably fit in like a glove, and their signings this season have been impressive, to say the least. So I'm as well expecting quite a lot from Schalke this season, probably fourth or fifth, hoping fourth. It's a cool club, so wouldn't mind them actually catching Champions League.
It would be great as a fan. It would be great to see them back in the Champions League, and I think they're one of the bigger clubs in the Bundesliga. They're definitely one of the ones that are well run as well, most of the time at least. So we'll see.
True. So Frankfurt. To summarize this summer, it's quite easy to summarize this summer. It's it's signings galore, I think. We've signed, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players.
8
so
players.
Far. 8 players so far, and that is, it's Michael Hector from Chelsea, who played at Reading last season, I think.
Yeah.
And then it's Jesus Vallejo, from Real Madrid, Real Zaragoza last season, I think. Torgan Sorba from the youth team, Taleb Tawata from Tel Aviv, I think, left back, and let's see, Guillermo Varela from Manchester United, Omar Mascarell from Real Madrid, um, Danny Bloom from Nuremberg, Ante Rebic from Fiorentina, and Branimir Hagota from Mönchengladbach. And the latter is probably the most exciting of them all. Branimir Hagota, I mean, as a Swede, I've been quite interested in the lad for a few years since he arrived at Mönchengladbach, and I've watched quite a few games with him and watched him play for our youth teams and even our actual national team. And he's almost every time he's played, he's looked exciting. He's looked forward, likes to run with the ball, dribble, and he's a very good finisher. And he has some great experience from European football, so which he can bring to a very experienced poor club as Frankfurt nowadays is, with lots of young, rather unexperienced players and a few older, very very experienced players. But to summarize even more this summer, it's been a bit of a disappointment signings wise. As I mean, yeah, we have signed 2 defenders, but we've also lost one in Zambrano, and we needed at least 2 new, really really good defenders. And even though I think Michael Hector is a very good player, and I think Jesus Vallejo is a very neat player as well, I can actually see a player like Furkan Soba from the youth team step up and grab me a place if he's lucky, because the defenders we have in, I mean, we have 5 defenders, 5 fresh defenders in Michael Hector, David Abraham, Jesus Vallejo, Bamba Anderson, and Furkan Soba. Bamba Anderson is out injured. Of course, Marco Russ is out injured as well. But, sadly. So we have 4 defenders, and one of those is from the U team, and I wouldn't rely on him too much, but I could see him breaking to the first team this season. He would be my surprise player of the season. Piece about Frankfurt. And while the wingbacks are looking very nice, very neat, very quick and attacking, and very, very defensively stable as well, with Okshipka, who in my opinion is one of the best left backs in the league. It's very, very good both offensively and defensively. But other than that, this Chandler is not good enough. Guillermo Varela, from what I've seen so far, is not good enough. Gianni Regesel, so far, is not good enough. He's only 20 years old. And defense is looking as shaky as always, and even shakier than always, and that's a real concern for me as a Frankfurt supporter, because I can see this season going the same way last season went, but possibly even worse. And I predicted Frankfurt to finish, I think, 12th. 13th, yeah, in the league, which in fact was a bit optimistic, because I thought we would sign at least one, really, really good defender to replace Marco Russ. But so far, no. And I have no idea how good Michael Hector or Jesus Vallejo is, or are, but I do know that David Abraham is not good enough for Eintracht Frankfurt, and Bamba Anderson, while he's injured, sure, but he's horrible, in my opinion. So while we have
opinion on Hector if you want, but
sure.
Because he was obviously at Reading, which is my English team, and he's pretty good. He's certainly good enough to play lower half of the Premier League, which is sort of the position that Frankfurt are in. There's definitely mistakes in him, though, I'd say, and a lot of people are commenting that the move to Chelsea seems to have inflated his ego a bit. Whether that's true or not is something else. But whether he feels like this is enough of a serious job for him is an interesting one, because he got sent off in the cup, didn't he, at the weekend?
Yeah.
which is obviously not an ideal start to life. Although it does sort of suit Frankfurt really
Hmm.
as a look. But yeah, well, it's hard to tell whether he'd be able to make the step up because he was good for us, but I wouldn't say he was make the difference in the Bundesliga good. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, fair enough. So while our goalkeepers are very good and our defense is looking very shaky, we have to rely on Lucas Radecki to do what he did last season, this season as well, which obviously isn't. It's never good to fully rely on a goalkeeper because even though it's really good, they are human as well and making mistakes. So defensively, but in midfield, however, and an attack is looking much more flourishing than last season. Where Makoto Hasebe had a really good season last season, even though we finished 16th. And I think Omar Mascarell, from what I've seen in our friendlies, he's looked very neat, very good, very comfortable with the ball, as are all Spanish players. While
Except Llorente.
Yeah, fair enough. But while Max Gender is out, the attacking midfield position will possibly be taken by either Alex Maya or Mijat Gazinovic, which is great because I think while Gender is a very good player, I think both Alex Maya and especially Mijat Gazinovic have the quality and capability to fill in this role.
Yeah.
So when Max Gender returns from his horrible knee injury, I think it was, in like November, sure, then Gacinovic can step out to the wing and Alex Maya can play up top and probably Hergota can play right winger or something. I have no idea what goes through Kovacs' mind, but there are players enough to fill the roles needed, in fact, and there are players enough to have decent depth in attack as well.
Yeah.
So
because goal scoring was an issue last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. So I think what somehow was the objective of the season's transfer window, of this summer's transfer window, of course, was to sign a few attacking players, and that they have done. But I think they have undermined the meaning of defense, because as it looks now, it's not looking as flourishing as it possibly should, to be honest. So, Frankfurt, I think could go either way. This season could be a boom or, a flop. But it wouldn't be a flop because no one has expected anything else than us dropping down. So, and actually, two big Swedish sites have predicted Frankfurt to finish 17th. So, yeah.
I feel like that's potentially a bit of a jump. I mean, to go from, it's not unusual in the Bundesliga for a team to go from 16th to 7th, but
17th.
Oh, 17th. Sorry. Yeah. Oh well, that's definitely more possible. Unfortunately, what do you think of Kovac? Because I think he certainly seemed to bring something to the team when he came in what was that, March time.
He's a very handsome man. I can say that. He's a very handsome man.
Okay.
And,
is that relevant to his ability to run the team?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's blinding in some way. Now, you're just kidding. But I think he has. I haven't found out his actual tactics yet, which was. I mean, first tactics were quite obvious at times, but Kovac, the Kovacs. The tactics haven't been as obvious, which could be a positive thing, because then the opponents won't be able to figure out our tactics. But while sure, the Kovacs did pull us out of the relegation zone in a rather decent manner by beating Borussia Dortmund at home. I mean, that's amazing. But and they did make our defense quite a lot better last in Rückrunde. But attack looked horrible, often very, very horrible. And sure, they have brought in some very interesting attacking plays, but if they can do the same thing they did with the defense last season with this defense, then sure, we'll probably stay up. I think so.
Yeah.
I think Werder Bremen has probably worse defense material than we have.
Yeah.
But
and the same coach, which is a bit of a problem.
Skripnik isn't good enough.
Yeah.
Not at all. But coaches, well, yeah, I like them. I do. Yeah. I think they're good for Frankfurt in many ways, improving the club's image, the club's stature in the country, and when I visited Frankfurt this March, there was this kind of a positive kind of emotion going on, positive feeling in Frankfurt that they would actually do something special for the club, and I still believe they can, like pull us out and bring us to a European spot or something like that. But then we would have to have like a Leicester-like season, and with this team, this playing material, every player has to play on the top level every game of the season. Does that happen? I just can't see that happen. But for me, staying up this season would be good enough. Anything else would be a surprise. It would be it would be great, of course. But our main objective is to stay up, and I'll be happy with that. I think every Frankfurt fan would be happy with staying up. But so that's my.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things, it's pretty difficult to predict anything below maybe the top 8 or 9 from last year what's going to happen, because you'd assume that those 8 or 9 are going to be thereabouts again. I think both of us have got all of last season's top 8, other than Hertha. You've got Hertha staying in there, but you've got Wolfsburg and Cologne around about the same place. But other than that, Mainz you've got dropping down as well. You've got them hitting mid-table, but neither of us have got them dropping too far off. So if you take those 8 or 9, maybe 10 clubs out of it, the other 8 or 9 could go down. Like realistically, we're looking at Darmstadt, or the two of us seem to think we're looking at Darmstadt and Werder Bremen. I know others are looking at Freiburg. I think Freiburg will be in that mix to get relegated. And beyond that, anyone else could be involved. Hoffenheim could be involved, Leipzig could be involved, Ingolstadt, Frankfurt, Hamburg, Augsburg could be down there again. I think we both believe that Hertha could really slip. I think you've got them in the Europa League, but the way they've started the season's not been good. So we're looking at basically anybody could be down in that relegation scrap outside of the real big clubs.
Honestly,
that's quite exciting.
I think Wolfsburg could find themselves like in there as well at the end.
Because Dante's left now as well, haven't they? So
and the team is looking.
Kruse could be on his way to Turkey, I think. I've seen.
Okay.
There's different rumours that he's potentially off to Galatasaray. So there's lots of questions to be asked about where Wolfsburg are going next season. I've got them improving again, but whether that will happen or not, I don't know. But yeah, we've both got Frankfurt. I've got 12th, you've got 13th. So we've got them safe, but not particularly impressive. I think that's probably what we can expect from them this year. Anything better than that will be a surprise. Anything worse than that will be a bit disappointing. And there are definitely 2 teams worse than them out of that group. So they shouldn't be going down automatically. If they find themselves in the playoff, it would be a bit of a letdown. But all right, what do you think about for Saturday's game then? When our 2 sides clash, it was a happy coincidence, really, wasn't it? That the fixtures worked out that way.
Perfect. I think it's perfect. I
what do you
guess as the game's played in Frankfurt, I can see them drawing like 1-1 or 2-2. I can't see Frankfurt winning. That would be a surprise. But I'm not too sure Schalke will win either, because coming to Waldstadion is always a difficult task,
Yeah.
which was shown by both Dortmund and Bayern last season.
Yeah.
So I'm predicting a draw, like 1-1, 2-2, or even 3-3. I think there will be goals, so much.
I don't know. I don't
goals.
like. I'm certainly going that both teams will score. Whether, well, I don't know. I still don't see whether Frankfurt have got that many goals in them. We'll have to wait and see. But
Yeah.
Schalke have definitely got the ability to concede a goal.
Oh yeah.
They won 4-1 in the cup against Villingen, which, 4 is great. The 1 is less good. So there's definitely a goal in it for Frankfurt if they play well. I personally would lean more towards Schalke winning, but I don't know if it takes a while for that attack to really click and get going. Then I'm going to go for 1-1. I think. I think there's the possibility that they can win, but the real, I think that they'll kick into gear as the season pushes on. But the first game, I can see both sides sort of working each other out, settling down a bit, getting used to their style. And yeah, I agree with you. I think a draw is most likely. I mean, 3-3 is probably off, unlikely, but 1-1. I'm going to go for 1-1.
1-1, yeah, seems fair enough.
Cool, good. Right, so that's that sorted. Should we just have a quick look at what we think for the rest of the table then? So we've got, I think mostly we've got the same mix of teams in the middle, and we've got the same 2 going down. So should we talk about the top 3?
Yeah.
Sure. That seems to be where we differ, right? Where we differ on opinion.
Sure.
So we've got the same 3 teams, but in a very different order.
Yeah, we do.
So do you want to talk through your top 3?
I can do my short summary and.
Well, just all right. So how about what do you think? Why do you think Dortmund are going to win?
Why? I think they've got the attacking quality. While, as you wrote in your article about FC Bayern, attack wins you games, defense wins you leagues, or wins you titles, or whatever. That's a very, very good quote, and depends on whether. I think Bayern's defense is, of course, the best, without doubt. But I think Dortmund has the capacity to shut down. That's the word. Shut down against most teams in the league. I think both Socrates is a bit mistake prone at times, and so is Mark Bartra. But with Matthias Ginter as well, who also can play as centre back, and Lucas Piszczek as well, who also can play as centre back, and with Blake Passlack as right back.
Yeah, I just think looking at that, you've got a very new centre back pairing, including, as you say, 2 centre backs that make a lot of mistakes, and it's whether that is going to get them through like the tough away games, like the games at Frankfurt, like the where else is tough to go to, like an away game in Gladbach or Schalke, the away game in Munich. You've got to question whether they're like that, because even if it's just a one-off result, that knocks your confidence. And like the 5-1 last season away in Munich that must have knocked them for at least 2 or 3 games in terms of just how good they felt about themselves, and that makes a difference over the course of the season. I think like Bartra is a good signing, and I think all of the players they signed are good signings, but I don't think they're going to gel into the defensive unit and the team unit that they need until next season, in my opinion. That's why I've got them finishing 3rd.
That is true. The defense is looking a bit shaky. I agree. But I think they have got probably the most balanced midfield in the world, in my opinion, at least. They have got players who can play every role in midfield, every role needed, every role, every game needs. And they got Weigl, Rode, and Castro, the German James Milner, who can all play like 5 or 6 different roles in midfield. I mean, they can play holding midfielder, they can play ball playing, holding, and all these football manager roles.
That could be key though. Their flexibility could really, make a difference. They're just And they can, if someone's not performing, they take him out, throw in someone else, and if he doesn't work, take him out. They've got enough players and like a big enough squad of enough talented youngsters that they can just go, well, he's not working at the moment, he's off form. We'll try someone else. I mean, Goetze starting on the bench the other day was proof enough of that. But for me, there's too much of a jump from losing 3 of their key players, like their best centre back, their best central midfielder, and their best attacking midfielder. And if Aubameyang had gone, then that would have been everything gone. That would have ripped the heart out of that team. Yeah. So there's a big shoes to fill. There's a big gaps on the pitch to reorganise, reshape. Whether they can do that well enough that they win, as you suggest, I don't think so. I think they'll still be fine for the Champions League spots. I don't know. I really, really like the look of Leverkusen. I think they are looking really, really good going into the new year. The difference that Charles Aranguiz made when he came back from injury was ridiculous. Julian Brandt had a good summer. The entire squad looks ready to go. They know each other. They know who they are, what they're doing. They've got a unit that's settled. Okay, the defence is still an issue, but if anyone stops that team going forward, they're doing well because the attacking quality they've got at their disposal with Çalhanoğlu, Bellarabi, Brandt, Kiesling, Chicharito, so many players. They've added Kevin Volland to that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're ridiculously overstacked in quality attacking midfielders, and for me that's going to make the difference because they know each other. You add Volland in, it's pretty much the only major change they've had to make, really. They've got a settled defence. Toprak and Tah looked pretty solid. They've added in a good right back in Danny Da Costa to replace who I described as the worst right back in the league in Ilbert. Genuinely, how he made it as a professional, I just don't, or at least as a Bundesliga professional, I just don't understand that. And Tin Yedvai as well has never really hit the sort of heights that were maybe hoped of him. So Danny Da Costa could be a very important signing that shores up their defence as well. So yeah, I can't see it past Bayern for the title, but I can see Leverkusen really pushing Dortmund for second spot.
Yeah, the top 3 have all got really amazing attacking quality, attacking setups. It will be a very interesting fight at the top with lots of goals, I suspect.
Yeah.
Lots of goals from all these teams, and yeah, I think these 3 teams are kind of. I'm quite sure that these 3 teams will finish top 3. I can't see any other team grabbing the third spot.
It would take them not playing to their potential quite badly,
exactly.
And the other team overperforming. I can't, like, those 3 are now sort of in a little mini league at the time. I think we could see that Bayern score the least goals out of those 3, but their defence is, well, it's pretty much if Lahm hadn't retired, the first choice German defence plus Alaba. So if Alaba had moved north a bit earlier in his life, then it could have been the first choice German defence. I think that will make the difference. That's what we're looking at. The margins up there, it's not going to be who scores the most goals, it's going to be who concedes the fewest. And of the 3, Bayern have the strongest defence. And I think they're going to go a long way in the Champions League. I rate Ancelotti as a manager. So I'm not going to say they're going to get a treble, but they're definitely going to be close. They're going to be close. And Leverkusen for me are going to be second. Or at least pushing Dortmund all the way, much closer than last year when they was sorted by about March time who was going to be the top 2 and who was going to win. Right. So great.
Yeah, I'm kind of rather certain that Bayern will win as well. You kind of convinced me, but I will stick with Dortmund on the side because if they do win, then I can look back and say, haha, told you so. So that's
fine. I will look forward to that not happening. Great. All right, so I think that's our Bundesliga check sorted. Do you want to prepare everybody for Bundesliga Eve by reading out your quite fabulous poem? I had a read of this earlier. It's very enjoyable. I hope he gives it the epic delivery we're all looking for. So to, I don't know, it's not really to sing you out, is it? To wax lyrical over our Bundesliga Eve, which you can join us for on Thursday, the night before the Bundesliga season kicks off. So to get you ready for that, get you in the mood, to sing you out, Axel Folk with Bundesliga Eve.
Yes. It was a night before football, and all through the league, not a pundit was stirring, nobody predicting a siege. The balls were placed on the turf with care. No, believe me, this poem isn't a joke, I swear. The Frankfurters will nestle all snug in their beds, while visions of Fußballgott scoring danced in their heads. And Müller in his rolled socks, and Schmidt with his press, had just settled their brains for a long year of stress. When out on the turf, there arose such a clatter, the Frankfurters sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window they flew like a flash, threw open the shutters and threw out the sash. The moon on the breast of a new fallen 690 left the place to be filled by the Red Bulls from Leipzig. There on the turf stood a man with a hat, who spoke a voice sharp as mountain Zermatt. Oh, he said, these dumb plastic clubs, what to do when they have bank managers as subs? Soon came a whirlwind so yellow and bright. Oh no, something wasn't right. At the front of the wind was a long skinny man, who screamed loudly as his yellow boys ran. Now Marco, los geht's André. Kennt ihr Tradition, Jungs? He screamed at the top of his lungs. He shook his head and climbed back to bed. His team wasn't yellow, it was black and red. Ah well, he thought, he closed his eyes, could no longer see. He enjoyed and remembered today was Bundesliga Eve.